Hi, everyone. This is Wade. For too long, I have remained silent, hoping that the justice system will uncover the truth. It is clear that I must now take matters into my own hands.
Some women have this fascination with the killers themselves. Why?
Both of them died. The last person that they encountered was Mr. Wade Wilson.
They're going to tell you tons of stories about me, and it doesn't mean they're true.
I told detectives, I've already done it once. I'll do it again.
She said she's not going to leave me.
Well, let me tell you the truth. Yesterday when you called, she set your ass up. She had a news reporter there and had you on speakerphone, dude.
I went to the driver's side window. He wrote it down, and it escalated quickly.
Rule number 1, never allow them to take you somewhere else. Never.
And what's interesting about that particular act, ladies and gentlemen, is that both people know that one person is gonna die.
From the very beginning, I have maintained my innocence.
Why did you do this? Why? I need answers. I want to know why.
Because I wanted to.
We, the jury, find by a vote of 9-3 that Wade Wilson.
How well do you really know your partner? Like, what are they doing right now? Do you know? Do you really know? Hopefully most of you can say yes to that and have a healthy amount of trust in your partner. But those of you who felt that ice in your belly, that kind of tingle in the back of your neck, this one's for you. Mila Melissa Montanez thought she knew her boyfriend, Wade Wilson, but after a drunken fight at a bar that ended in Wade Wilson stealing her car, Mila went home with a friend completely unaware of what he was possibly doing. And when Wade showed up the next morning driving a completely different car, Mila had no idea that her life was about to change forever, possibly in the worst way ever. Brace yourself for one of the most intense stories we've covered that has a twist that you did not see coming. But first, hi, hello, it's Swoop, and welcome to the dark waters of the Suspool, the place where everything and everyone is sus. Or is it us? Come on in, the water's fine. Welcome back, Suspirians. Today I'm feeling a little spicy, okay? A little peppery, all right? I have real dried chili peppers hanging from my ears, so it's gonna be a little hot today. Today we're talking about how a knockoff Marvel character with some seriously questionable face tattoos went on a dangerous crime spree, and how the absolutely perplexing true crime girlies of the internet decided, who gives a he's totally hot. Yeah, I can't. I just wait. If you're new here, welcome to my second channel. On my main channel, Swoop, I do full-length deep dives, and over here we dip into the dark waters of bizarre, twisted, sometimes scary, always sus stories while trying to figure out what's going on, who, what belongs in the sus pool, what's gonna happen. In this case, our main sus is, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. The Deadpool is in the Suspool, okay? But there are people not even involved in this case that might need to be tossed in the Suspool because holy hell, what are you even doing? So if you're into mind-bending, dark, twisted tales, subscribe to this channel, bring a towel, and go ahead and tickle the like button, okay? She likes it right under the chin, just ask her consent, of course. Okay, we're gonna dive into this mess, but first I gotta know, te sente caliente, are you feeling cozy this fall season? If you can tell, I am taking some time this fall to start speaking a new language. Learning something new helps me relax and keeps my mind off of the absolute chaos of life. And I want to travel again soon, so I have been learning Italian and French with Babbel. So a huge thank you to Babbel for sponsoring this video and being a supporter of our community. We love Babbel so much. Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world, and I can't get enough. I've been using Babbel for a few months now, and it is a game changer because Babbel's flexible learning platform is scientifically proven to help you start real conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Honey, I can't even get a Swoop doc done that fast, but a new language? Si, grazie. Yes, please. So I spent a month in Europe working on a film a while back, and I fell in love with the French and Italian languages. So I've been cozying up with Babbel, which is basically like my private tutor on my phone right in my pocket. Mi sto divertendo così tanto. I am having so much fun.
Lui è di Milano.
Lui è di Milano. He is from Milan.
Tu sei di Roma.
Tu sei di Roma.
Io sono.
Io sono.
Io sono di Firenze.
Io sono di Firenze. I love Babbel because it takes the role of a personal language coach, and the lessons are designed by real language experts to guide you to real-life conversations about travel, food, relationships, business, so you'll have real-world conversations in no time. Seriously, just give it 3 weeks, you won't be able to put it down. And with a 20-day money-back guarantee, è un gioco da ragazzi. It's a no-brainer, honey. So join me, my fellow Suspirians, and have some fun learning a new language with me. Tap my link below and get 60% off on your subscription. That is such a massive deal, and you're gonna love it. And tell me in the comments what language you want to learn, whether it's like connecting with family, travel, or even just having fun and impressing your friends. Grab 60% off your subscription and have fun learning your new language. Ciao Bella, treat yourself, honey, you deserve it. Okay, let's dip into the dark waters of the Suspool. On October 6, 2019, Melissa, aka Mila, went out for a night on the town in Fort Myers, Florida with her boyfriend Wade Wilson. And no, for all of you Marvel fans watching, this is not the Wade who moonlights as Deadpool. This is just a sus-ass guy with the same name. Mila and Wade went to a bar called Buddha Live, and they were drinking and dancing and having a good time when Wade struck up a fast friendship with another patron named Jason. Now, Jason invited Wade and Mila back to his place, but Mila wasn't into it, and even though Wade tried to convince her to go, Mila stood her ground and said no. This made Wade angry. Yeah, so like any level-headed person, he did something totally normal and rational and stole Mila's car so that he could go to Jason's anyways. You know, nothing says Suspool like some casual Grand Theft Auto. Like, can you imagine your partner literally stealing your car so he can go party with some dude while you're stranded at a bar? Like, dick bag energy already. So because she was stranded, Mila had to call a friend to come pick her up, and she spent the night at her friend's house. The next morning, still pissed off at Wade, rightfully so, Mila noticed a wave of calls from an unknown number. Now, it was before 8 a.m., so she didn't bother picking up at first until she realized it was Wade calling, and since she obviously wanted her car back, Mila agreed to meet up with him. Now, here's the thing. Like, Mila knew it was going to be a heated conversation, so in an absolutely just brilliant move, she agreed to meet Wade, but only in public. Very smart of her, and that's going to prove to be an incredibly important detail in a moment. So Mila was expecting him to bring her car back, but instead, he pulled up in a car that she'd never seen before, a black Nissan Versa. And like, again, dude, like, imagine your boyfriend ditching you at a bar, stealing your car, and then showing up in an entirely different car. Like, dear Suspirians, I don't know about you, but I'd be beyond pissed and also just like really confused, right? So Wade pulls up, but he stays in the car begging Mila to get inside. And again, Mila makes a very smart decision because she's there leaning over the passenger window, but she makes the conscious choice to stay in public view and doesn't get in the car.
I went to the driver's side window. He wrote it down. I said, where are my keys? Where's my car? He was calm and just saying, get in the car, and it escalated quickly.
Did you agree to get in the car?
No.
And when you would not agree to get in the car, how did he act?
Violent, aggressive, tried to pull me in the car physically, and I resisted, got plank style so that he could not grab me into the vehicle.
When you say you got plank style, could you just show the jurors what you mean by that?
And I was being pulled into the car by my dress.
Okay, so for the record, you just stood up and put your hands straight above your head?
Yes, so that I was not being able to be budged into the vehicle.
And you said he's pulling at your dress.
Yes.
Can you describe in more detail how he's pulling at your dress?
He's pulling dress, probably a little hair, everything, and then the dress starts to rip off of my body.
Now, at that point, Mila knew it would only get worse, and terrifyingly, Wade, while in public, got more and more violent. I'm going to spare most of the details because it is very, very upsetting, but basically, Wade went on a full DV rampage as a crowd started to gather, but Mila again knew that the crowd was her key to safety, and like...
I got to the front of the staircase, and I'm holding on to that, and a crowd begins to develop. I'm expecting people to help, call 911. So I'm just trying to bide my time at that point as quickly as help can get there.
Honestly, y'all, to have that kind of presence of mind to be in the middle of a physical assault is just like actually astounding. Like that's an incredible show of strength and resilience on Mila's part. And like no one should ever have to know those types of survival skills. And sadly, a lot of victims either don't have the ability or the public surroundings to try to protect themselves. And even here, Wade didn't give one shit people watching, but thank God this was in public. Like I think that saved her life, honestly.
I'm trying to reason with him, trying to talk to him, but there's nobody behind those eyes anymore.
So Wade finally gave up on this attack, and it was ruthless. And realizing Mila wasn't going to get in the car, he fled. The cops arrived shortly after to take Mila's statement, and an APB went out to find him. Now, get this, because this took some absolute brass balls. While Mila was working with the police to locate Wade, she contacted him and asked him to meet her at a public parking lot across the street to talk. Again, think about what just happened, right? Now, Wade agreed, and around 3 p.m., Wade is there, sitting in the mystery black Nissan Versa in a Joe's Crab Shack parking lot, shirtless. I don't think there's ever been a more Florida sentence ever spoken. A Fort Myers police officer, Timothy McCormick, approached Wade, attempting to, just kind of like handle the situation until backup arrived and he could arrest him for attacking Mila. But Wade was acting like a little and as soon as he heard he wasn't technically being arrested, he drove off.
By our procedures, I have to detain you. Because of the battery this morning. Let me see the keys to the car. Let me see the keys to the car. Wait, we're not gonna have any problems. Just give me the keys to the car. L41, gonna need a couple more units. Don't go anywhere. Hey.
Now, here's the thing, Suspirians, because I gotta take a pause. Can you imagine, number one, the strength that it took for Mila, who had just been viciously attacked by this low-hanging fruit, to be willing to call this dude for a whole-ass sting operation? That would be terrifying as shit. I don't know what else to say, okay? And what really pisses me right the fuck off is that because the APB was only for domestic battery, which is a misdemeanor, because of that, the cops couldn't or wouldn't pursue Wade. What? What the fuck? I know, right? You see why I'm feeling spicy today. And I can't help but wonder, because you know I'm gonna wonder, where's that attitude when it's a black man selling loose cigarettes or carrying a bag of Skittles? But I digress. Not supposed to ask that. So as far as Mila knew, the police were still pursuing Wade, but there were still so many questions, right? Like, where did Wade leave her car, and who owned the new car he was driving, and how the hell do you let him go after what he just did in front of a bunch of people? Now, okay, before we continue, it's time to check in, my dear Suspirians. Do you have any idea who is in the Suspool? Don't spoil it if you already know. Just kidding. It's Wade. Wade's in the Suspool. Wade is wading in the waters, okay? No, he's not even doing that. Wade is pissing in a cesspool. But if you're not familiar with the story, I'm guessing you won't see what's coming next, or rather, what happened before. Now, we're gonna do a little time travel back to the previous night, October 6, 2019. Wade steals Mila's car, so Mila leaves the bar. And here begins a chain of events that Mila had no idea was unfolding. So here's the thing. At the bar, Wade met a lovely young woman, 35-year-old Christine Melton, and for some dumb reason, he introduced himself as JR. Now, Christine was a vibrant, full-of-life woman who worked as a waitress, was the godmother to her cousin's child, had an adorable kitty cat, and loved to play dress-up for Halloween. Her friends said that she made everyone feel safe around her and, quote, was precious not just to me, but to everyone who knew her. So Christine is there with her best friend, Stephanie, who Stephanie described JR, aka Wade, as charming and fun, and that he and Christine seemed attracted to each other. Now, the group of them went back to Jason's house in Mila's car with Jason driving. But when they got to Jason's, they realized it was Jason's mom's house, so eventually Wade and Christine decided to head to her place. Only at this point, it became clear that Wade couldn't drive Mila's car because it was a stick shift. I guess Wade was was never secure enough in his masculinity to have Mila teach him.
JR is trying to back the car out of the driveway, and he can't get it to go in reverse. It's just revving the engine in the driveway.
Is the car a manual or a stick shift?
It's a stick shift car.
Is it clear to you that he was unable to drive a stick shift?
Yes.
So Wade and Christine Uber to Christine's house in Coral Cove, Florida, and Stephanie said, quote, "She hugged me, kissed me, said she'd see me tomorrow."
Prior to leaving, did everything seem fine?
Yeah, it did. And I remember telling Christine, you know, I have to go home, I have to go to work. And she was like, okay. She hugged me and kissed me goodbye and said, talk to you tomorrow.
But Stephanie, sadly, would never see Christine again because in the early hours of the morning of October 7th, 2019, Wade Wilson strangled sweet, innocent Christine in her sleep. I can't even imagine what her last moments must have been like as this monster. And I don't even have to say alleged monster, and you'll see why, but he stole her life. And for what? Literally for what? For what? He then stole, you guessed it, probably Christine's black Nissan Versa and began incessantly calling Mila. And as we know, Wade met up with Mila and violently attacked her, so another woman that day, and Mila had no idea just how close she came to meeting a fate similar to Christine's. Now, if you're like me, the timeline isn't adding up. Didn't Wade meet up with Mila before 9 a.m. and he was seen in the parking lot of Joe's Crab Shack at 3 p.m.? So what did he do in the hours in between? What do you think he was up to? Well, the story just keeps getting more up, honestly, because between 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m., Wade, after just ruthlessly taking the life of beloved godmother Christine, was still driving Christine's stolen car when he came upon a woman walking to work. So this is Diane Ruiz, a kind 43-year-old mother of two who was engaged to be married. Diane was a server at the Moose Lodge, was incredibly responsible. I mean, she never missed a day of work in 5 years, which is just like unbelievable to me. And she was just one of those people that everybody loved. So when a young man pulled over to ask her for directions to the nearby high school, she probably didn't think twice about helping him out. Now, as we'd later find out, Wade maintains, as if anything out of his mouth is worth shit. But he says that Diane got into the car willingly, but her purse was left behind on the road, which I don't know about you, seems like not something someone who willingly got into a car with a stranger would do, right? And this is in no way victim blaming at all. But while we're here, just sidebar moment. If someone tries to force you into a car, please do everything in your power to not get in. As we learned from the Oprah show, as we learned from Mila's example, you're much more likely to survive if you do not go to a second location, if God forbid someone is after you like that. I know not everyone has that chance, sadly, but if you can, please scream, fight, kick, like a really something I think people don't think about is scratch at the eyes. Try to scratch, gouge out the eyes, literally dig your fingers in the eyeballs if you can. Anything possible to not be taken away from where you are.
Rule number one, and frankly, it's probably, in my opinion, the most important. Never allow them to take you somewhere else. Never. If everyone in this room and everyone watching this program has never drawn the line and made a decision on crime protection, you better make it when they decide to move you from crime scene number 1 to crime scene number 2. Because the crime scene number 2 is going to be isolated, you won't choose it, you'll be the focus of the crime.
Now, heartbreakingly, sweet, innocent mother of two, Diane was not so lucky. Now, again, I'm not going to go into the details here out of respect for Diane because this garbage excuse of a man doesn't deserve that kind of glorification of what he did. And honestly, I don't even want to say his name much anymore if I can try not to. The victims deserve their names to be said a million times more than his. But he attacked Diane in the car, then used the car as a weapon on her body when she was on the ground many, many times, and then drove to an abandoned location where he ruthlessly dumped her body like the absolute coward that he is. Now, around the same time, Stephanie Johnson became worried when she hadn't heard from Christine, so she sent police to do a welfare check on Christine's house, and there they discovered Christine, her life cut short. And this brings us to the 3 p.m. encounter with Wade and the police. run-in with the cops spooked the man who shall no longer be named as long as I can help it without making the story confusing. Something switched in this monster and he went from psycho killer mode to panicked, running scared mode. So he went on to an acquaintance's business, Joshua, and begged him for help skipping town. Now, Joshua didn't believe him at first when he's saying like that he did something, but Wade was insistent that he had killed people. Plus, he was, I believe, covered in blood. So I don't know, is something about that maybe made him think, maybe this guy is telling the truth, which again, like, can you imagine someone coming to you like that? Like, that is so intense. Like, I don't even have words for what that encounter must have been like. Now, thankfully, Josh called the police. So
I have a very unstable man that's, I guess, wanted at my office, Hancock Bridge Parkway. He's got tattoos, he's shirtless, he said he killed some people, and he just hurt a girl in Hancock Bridge Parkway.
What is the phone number you're calling from?
239.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
The gentleman's name is Wade something. I have no idea. I went back to my office, my place of business there, and he was there. He was just a cordial friend of a friend associate. He just did something bad, I guess. He was running from somebody, but I need to get him out of my place. And he's saying he's done all these crazy things, just from somebody, and has a stolen car there. It's very odd. Very, very odd.
what Wade was saying here was Wade's confession number 1. And shocking, the asswipe ran off before the cops could get there. But he didn't go far. And like some twisted, just effed up Goldilocks tale, like he found an empty house a couple of blocks away, broke in and helped himself to their food and some White Claws while hiding out from the cops. Oh wait, that maybe that's the most Florida sentence that's ever been spoken. I think that outdid the previous one. You know, it was there that this specimen called his biological father, Stephen, and in a series of calls, he admitted to killing Christine and Diane. So behold, Wade's second confession.
Just told me, you know, he did something. There was 2 people gone that would not be back. He said, I'm a killer.
Did you put a lot of weight into that?
No, ma'am.
Did you think he was just telling you a story?
He's a good storyteller.
That dinner time call, when he talked about these 2 people who are no longer with us and that he was a killer, did he show any type of remorse?
No, ma'am.
What did he tell you?
He just said he met a girl at a bar. They went back to her house, hung out for a little bit, and then she fell asleep.
What did he say happened after she fell asleep?
He left her there and took her car.
What did he say about the second girl?
He said he saw her walking down the street and stopped and asked her for directions. And she got in the car with him.
What did he say happened once she got in the car with him?
He said he reached over and he said that he pulled her out of the car and realized that she was still breathing.
So what did he tell you he did when he realized she's still breathing?
He said he got back in the car and...
Like Joshua, Steve thought at first that Wade was joking and telling a story, which, listen, like this is the second story that I've heard this week of someone being confessed to and them just thinking it's a joke. If you watched my recent video on Jin Kid, the TikTok killer, his father apparently thought that he was joking as well with what he did to his estranged wife, Anna. And at first I thought, like, what the hell? Like, who thinks that this sounds like a prank? But honestly, I'm wondering, like, when you just like to be fair about it and to think about it, I'm wondering if that's potentially just a coping mechanism or just like a glaze over, right? Of like a sudden traumatic information is just being thrown at you like in real time, face to face. And I just like, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that, you know, your kid calling you up and confessing to murder would be hella confusing, but eventually traumatic. So I don't know. Like, what do you all think? Now, after the third call, Stephen finally believed his son, and even though he was conflicted, he ultimately made the right decision. Steve told Wade he was sending an Uber to pick him up and take him out of town. And when Wade gave his location, instead of an Uber, Stephen, his biological father, sent the police, and shortly after, Wade Wilson was finally arrested.
Just do a little twist there. There you have it. What's your nick, man?
You position your body however you want to get comfortable. So watch your knees.
And that's when the case wraps up nice and tidy, no loose ends, right?
I was told to come here and pick you up. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you did or what you didn't do. I have no idea, man.
I have no idea what you were saying.
That's why I'm here. I'm just a taxi service.
Buckle up, Suspirians, because this is just the middle of a long history of terror. Why did he do this? Why did he kill two people and attack his girlfriend? How the hell did we get here? Was Wade Wilson born a monster or was he created? Does it matter? Well, let's go backwards even more a bit. To say Wade's entry into this world was complicated is putting it mildly.
How old were you when you found out you were going to be his father?
14 or 15.
How old was his mother at the time?
A year younger than me.
Now, were either of you in a position at that age to be able to raise him?
No, ma'am.
Was he placed up for adoption?
Yes, ma'am.
An unwanted teenage pregnancy is never on someone's bucket list, but Wade's biological parents made a brave choice by putting him up for adoption, and he was adopted by a couple that went to church with his biological mom. There's not a ton of information on his home life, but a former classmate told Newsweek, quote, "He had the world given to him. He had a nice house in the suburbs with his parents who adopted him. They had greyhounds and expensive vehicles, but they were not just all about their material stuff. Their mindset was in the right place too. But for some reason on that course, something fell off, something didn't make sense, like it wasn't appreciated or was taken for granted." Now, according to another classmate, Wade was expelled from high school, quote, because he was smoking weed in the bathroom and caught the toilet paper roll on fire. Even his biological father, Stephen, was at a loss for how he turned out like this. And honestly, sometimes there aren't explanations that make sense other than, they just suck. They just suck. They just suck by choice. Could the adoption have a mental factor? Sure, but also zillions of people have been adopted. I'm certainly not going to stigmatize people who've been adopted as being prone to this kind of thing.
I was sitting here working and I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's really bothering me, but this is what I just don't understand. Like, why to that extreme? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to make it to that extreme, son?
I don't know.
Well, what are you angry with, dude? What are you angry about? You know what I'm saying? What are you fucking angry about? Especially with women. Like, what are you angry at women for?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know either, dude. It bothers me.
I need to figure it out.
But here's the thing. This bona fide monster's actions in October 2019 was not his first bout of disgraced No, he has a long list of priors dating all the way back to 2012, including battery, assault, and R-word, and child cruelty, grand theft auto, and firearms charges, which he served time for just a year prior. Literally in 2015, he was on trial for battery and kidnapping, but was acquitted. In 2018, he was investigated regarding the death of another person, and in 2019, literally the same year he took the lives of innocent, beloved Christine and Diane, his ex-girlfriend reported that he beat and strangled her, but the police didn't arrest him. I am livid. Literally the same year. The same year. Now, I'm not gonna play the graphic parts to adhere to policy here, but this man has done some incredibly disturbing things that we don't have time to cover today.
I dated this man in February of the same year that he killed those two women. So this is us. On my birthday, February 2019, he actually kidnapped me, like tied me up and drove me to the Keys, which is like 3.5 hours from where I lived in Florida. Over 200 photos that they took at the hospital at what they called the Butterfly House when I had my interview, because I had to have kit done. But I haven't like posted a lot about it since it happened, because Wade would find ways to contact me while he was in jail. He would use other people's accounts, or he would call from other people's numbers. And the last time I spoke to him, I believe like last year or the year before, I told him I wanted nothing to do with him. I would see him at his trial date or when they put him to death, whatever. I wanted nothing to do with him, and he promised that he would see me later. So I was a little hesitant about like telling the whole world about this because I was afraid that he was going to get out and come after me. I actually moved over an hour away from where I lived because I was just afraid that he was going to find me and try to kill me. The police department failed me so severely by not even arresting this man on a suspicion. But had this detective actually done his job and arrested this man, I think these women would still be alive, because I would have testified against him for this. My whole family, all my friends, everyone would have stood up for this. And this detective basically said, you were into that kind of thing, so we can't really do anything about it.
Well, isn't that so freaking convenient? And then this guy gets to run free? I am shooketh. Now, as we move on to what happens next, I beg you, do not, please do not fall for the bad boy charm. I don't care what the troglodyte looks like, my friends, because this Wade Wilson no longer exists. No, on top of everything else, he's about to have a whole style evolution that will, for some reason, send the TikTok girlies' hearts a-fluttering, and I couldn't be more bothered. Yeah, I said it in the title, tattoos don't make him less of a loser. We're all used to a little ink, and in these earlier photos, this clown looks like any other generic boy out there. But let's take a minute to look at his transformation. First, the shaved head and the introduction of a giant-ass swastika, and not the religious kind, as if double murder wasn't enough to say I'm human garbage juice. Yeah. You know, he's not even the garbage. He's the juice, the garbage left behind. You know, the leaky, stinky, yeah, that stuff. Next, oh, okay, he's grown his hair out. Maybe he regrets it a little. Nope, he's back. This time with a swastika on his face and a zombie mouth. Y'all, I'm sorry, but not sorry. My petty side is coming out because I have zero sympathy for this specimen who shall rarely be named in this remainder of the video. Now, normally, y'all know, I would never judge someone's appearance, especially, yeah, I normally wouldn't do that, but I don't give a shit in this story, and he did this to other people, and then he did this to his face, so I don't care. Now, the other side of him is even better. Like, can you even tell what those tattoos are of? Leave your best guesses in the comments, I guess. Okay, I'm done. But his fan club isn't. Oh no, that's not. If you caught yourself feeling bad for this leech because he's cute, first of all, honey, please stop it. Stop it, okay? Stop it. Stop it. Just stop. You deserve better, honey.
Stop it. Get some help.
But second of all, you're not the only one, because as this case picked up notoriety, I use that quote, the internet started interneting. This case has been pretty single sus so far, but here's where the Suspool tides are rising up, my friends. So in a twist that I can't even wrap my brain around, which is saying a lot because I am a learned bitch. For some reason, this mucous membrane has a fan club. Yeah, and not just any fan club. He has troves of women basically in love with him. Like, is he conventionally handsome? Sure, maybe, I guess, if you're into that. But is that all it takes for these groupies to look past his literal murders? Turns out for a lot of them, it even gave him a dumbass GoFundMe. Yes, my sweet Suspirians, I kid you not, someone literally started a fundraising page auctioning off phone calls and time with this person in return for donations for his defense fund. Like he's some eligible bachelor celebrity, and they've raised over $90,000. Listen, I know people have the right to their whatever the is, but come on. One person alone literally donated like $24,000. Like you could have put a kid through college. I mean, community college in this economy, but what the hell are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing, Susan? Stop it. Stop it, Susan. Like he will even go on social media and answer fan questions and often signs off saying, love you. Like what? The whole grain, gluten-free What are we doing? What are we doing, Susan?
Daniel, it depends on my mood and it depends on what I'm doing. But other than that, I don't have a favorite. It depends on how I feel because I'm a very emotional person. I have a lot of feelings. And so when I get in a certain feeling place, I will correlate my music to that. So that could be like metal, that could be hip hop, rap, that could be like reggae, that could be a lot of things.
The thing is, this whole women swooning for the worst of humankind isn't actually new. Ted Bundy, for example, also had admirers. Many ultra-violent men in prison do. There's this phenomenon in like the human lizard brain that some people can't turn off. Like big violent man equals protector. Here's an expert interview from Fox 4 News who can probably talk about this a little bit better than I am.
True crime isn't a new thing, but Professor Amanda Vickery says it's really exploded in the past decade.
Everything that seems to be related to preventing it from happening to us seems to really draw people to true crime, especially women.
Vickery focuses on true crime, and specifically a woman's interest in killers. Killers like Wade Wilson, who murdered Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz in 2019. Some women have this fascination with the killers themselves. Why?
According to evolutionary psychology, we today are still attracted to the things that would have helped us survive back in our ancestral past. Think hunter-gatherer environment.
Vickery says the gatherer is meant to be a protector, the dominant figure.
Who is more dominant than a killer? And so while consciously it makes no sense for a woman to be attracted to a killer, especially who has killed other women, our subconscious mind doesn't always make that distinction.
That dominant trait is something she says women can be attracted to. But it's not just the physical looks.
It's this combination of this sort of bad boy dominant male image and this level of fame, this celebrity, and the idea that if I attach myself to that, I too could become a celebrity and famous.
Vickery used Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Charles Manson, and Chris Watts as examples. She says in some cases, though, there's no attraction or fame aspects.
There could be people reaching out of genuine, compassion for him, some sort of religious outreach.
Beyond the psychology of Wilson's case, Vickery hopes her studies can help women in the long run.
And this research can sort of help us understand why are we attracted to men who are aggressive sometimes.
While all this communication may seem harmless, Vickery doesn't think it's a good idea in Wilson's case.
In situations like this, where the crimes are so random and graphic, and I don't really feel like he's expressing remorse, I probably wouldn't recommend reaching out to him. Wade Wilson is not the first killer to receive attention from women, and he won't be the last.
I literally want to just at this point, gently shake anyone who has been left in this world feeling like they should be with a monster. It's actually, I don't know, part of it's just sad in a lot of ways. I know we kind of are just guffawed. Is that the word I want? I don't know, but I'm going to use it. We're guffawed at women who are standing these guys, but it's also a little bit sad. And again, if you need someone in prison, there are literally thousands of people in prison that are more deserving of support than this Dumbelina. Now, this, of course, isn't about women who have trauma bonds to their abusers. These are strangers that have never met this guy, making thirst trap videos and literally fangirling over him. So let's not forget that the last two women that Wade met, he murdered. Sweet, innocent, cherished, deserving of long life, Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz. So let's catch back up with the clown show that is Wade Wilson, because the dumbass keeps dumbassing. On September 30th, 2020, this person and his cellmate Joseph Katz attempted to break out of jail. Look at that tiny ass window. They thought that they could literally break it and squeeze through. Wade is 6'6". There's no way he's fitting through that, even if he did get it open somehow. Again, it's giving Ted Bundy wannabe, which, way to aim low, but Ted Bundy actually managed his escape. He did this whole process and he lost a whole bunch of weight and he did it over time. This dude couldn't even get the window open, which good. So throw on another couple of charges of attempted escape and criminal mischief, which sounds like a career choice in The Sims. And then in April of 2023, he was caught trying to smuggle meth into the jail. Bro, just stop. I can't even say quit while you're ahead. You're not ahead. You're way behind. Just cut it out.
That Wade Wilson pleaded no contest to 2 charges this morning linked to drug trafficking.
So at this point, we've seen this collection of cells confess twice, once to Joshua and once to his bio dad. And after he's taken into custody, he confesses again. So confession number 3. So you know when someone confesses 3 times, you would totally expect them to do the next logical thing and plead guilty. But no, not this one. He pleads not guilty, fiddly-dee, and it gets even better. This man, or his legal team at least, had the foresight to think, maybe I shouldn't show up to court with all these hate symbols and spirit Halloween discount tattoos on my face. So they submitted to the judge a request that he be allowed to wear makeup to his trial so as not to sway the jury about his character, as if the evidence wouldn't take care of that for him. But also, like, sir, your character is the one who got the tattoos in the first place. Is that not an assessment of his character? So the judge granted the makeup request, but then Mr. Sheehan Tattoo Face decided to not even wear it. Okay, cool, bro. Way to waste everyone's time. And with that, the trial began.
Miss Ruiz and Miss Melton had 3 things in common. Both of them died on the 7th of October of 2019. And both of them, before they were forever silenced, the last person that they encountered was Mr. Wade Wilson.
Now, Mila very bravely took the stand to tell her part of the story. Wade's biological dad took the stand. You know who didn't take the stand? Wade Wilson, which honestly, when you think about it, I mean, what the actual hell would he have even been able to say at this point?
You're gonna hear what he told law enforcement. And you're gonna hear that when they asked him why he killed Miss Melton, he said, I just wanted to do it. And then they asked him, well, what about Miss Ruiz? His response was, F it. Did you kill her? I got one down. This case was about killing for the sake of killing. He told detectives, I've already done it once. I'll do it again. Premeditation starts by placing the hands on the throat of another, not releasing until there is not one final breath that remains in that person. And what's interesting about that particular act, ladies and gentlemen, is that both people know that one person is going to die.
Now, the defense closing statements summarize their ongoing argument throughout the case. Now listen, we will always support that everyone is entitled to a good defense. They should zealously advocate for their client. Would I call his defense good? No, I would not, because the audacity.
Rather than premeditation, I would submit to you that the judge is going to give you an instruction on second-degree murder. And one of the, or also known as depraved mind murder. I don't think anyone can argue that none of this was not depraved. There's solid evidence that he is responsible for those 2 deaths and the battery of Miss Montanez. But Miss Montanez's testimony, you need to think about that, whether this was premeditated in terms,
I'm sorry, no question that WW is a POS, but as far as the defense attorneys go, this ain't it. Like, this is one of those cases where I feel like even his lawyers know that there is no defending this guy. I can think of a few cases like that where it's like, they're probably just like, oh my gosh, we gotta show up and go to work and do this. Ha. So the verdict came in, guilty. And is anybody surprised to hear that this double helix formed into a human being, allegedly human being, was found guilty on all 12 counts? The jury didn't even deliberate for a full 2 hours. So you know what? Round of applause. Good for them. Wade Wilson officially is found guilty, and since this is all in Florida, is facing the death penalty. If there's one thing Florida seems to really like, it's the death penalty.
That Wade Wilson should be sentenced to death.
Now listen. I know the death penalty is a minefield of a topic for a lot of people. I have expressed my thoughts many, many times. I don't personally think that it should exist. I am not in favor of the death penalty. But in the same breath, at the same time, I don't want to judge if a surviving family member wants that sort of action taken against someone who did something like this to their loved one. But we know there are plenty of people on death row that did not actually commit the crimes they've been found guilty of. So let me ask you this. Even though he confessed, do you think he deserves the death penalty? Do you agree with it? Let's not get any arguments over it, please, because everyone is entitled to their opinion here. And again, I have mine. I think if it can make a mistake and take the life of someone who was not guilty, or the court and the trial was not fair, because people should have fair trials, even if they are guilty as hell, they're still supposed to be entitled to a fair trial. If the courts can make mistakes and take a life that shouldn't have been taken, then I think we gotta throw it out. And I personally would never be able to sit on a jury and like determine someone's life like that. I wouldn't do it. I'd be the one who just walked out. I wouldn't be able to do it. But let me know your thoughts below. So it turns out Widow Baby Wadey loves to yap. Specifically, he loves talking to Mila. Let's have a listen.
They're dead. They're dead because of you.
I know that, Mila. I know that.
Why did you do this? Why? I need answers.
Why? Because I was freaking out on drugs, dude. You know how I get.
That's not an answer, Wade. That's not an answer.
How is it not
killing people?
Okay. I know. Now I have to suffer. I'm sorry. I know.
You're going to suffer forever in jail. You know that.
I'm going to suffer. Trust me, I've already been suffering. They put me in a fucking room and all I do is stare at the wall all day long, Mila. It's terrible.
That's what they have to do to people that kill people. You're not safe to be around people. Did you kill her and then try to kill me and then go try to kill the other girl? And
no, I tried to come see you to tell you what I had done.
Yeah, but did you kill the second girl at that point?
No. I think I killed her later.
You think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I killed her after I saw you.
What, babe? You say things that people remember when they kill somebody.
I killed her after I saw you.
Why? Why can't you just rob her?
Behold, another confession. So that brings us to a whopping 4 confessions so far, but it turns out Wade didn't know that all jail phone calls are recorded somehow, some way and why, which I swear is like, isn't that just like criminology 101? And doesn't it say this is being recorded? I don't know. Once he realized that he was being recorded, his tune changed and he started insisting on his innocence.
What?
Listen, I did not rape those girls. I don't care what they say, but listen, I think that, baby, we gotta be careful. We gotta be careful from this point on, because just because you say that, they're gonna take that seriously. And listen, can I tell you something? I want to let you know they're gonna be listening to my phone calls for sure.
Well, now they will, yeah. Maybe not before, but now, yeah.
No, they're going to. Like last time, no, but this time, yes, baby.
So Mila asks why he did it, and listen to what he has to say to that.
Why did you kill the first girl? I want to know why. Why did you kill her? I want to know why.
Because I wanted to.
Why did you want to kill her?
I just wanted to.
More than I want to.
Honestly, can I tell you what happened? That dude that gave me the drugs. Do you know what he gave me?
What?
Meth.
Okay. Well, we know you don't do good on meth, but why?
Okay.
What made you kill that girl?
I was angry. I got on meth and I got really. You know that.
Angry with her?
I don't know. I don't think I was angry with her. I think I just took it out on her.
You keep saying you were like in a relationship with her. Did you know this girl before?
Baby, I'm in a relationship with what the fuck, Mila? You can't listen to the stories they're talking about. They're gonna tell you tons of stories about me, and it doesn't mean they're true. No, Mila, I had never met her ever.
And like Mila said, that's not an answer, actually. Like, they even kind of, like, joked about when Wade attacked Mila.
You still fucked me up a little bit. Like,
I know.
Did you not see how much blood came out of my system when you punched me?
Yes, I'm sorry, baby. I was trying.
That was hardcore, motherfucker.
That was an intense punch. I didn't even mean, baby. I didn't even.
Trying to knock me out. I'm like,
No. Baby, I was trying.
I have 3 brothers that beat me up my whole life.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna tell you the truth, baby. You took that punch like a f***ing champion.
I hate you.
I know you do, and I hate myself for doing that. But I'll tell you what, you were like Floyd Mayweather taking that punch, baby. You were like Muhammad Ali taking that shit.
But it's not okay. I had 3
know.
brothers. I had to survive 3 brothers growing up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know.
it's not okay that you are punching.
It was not okay. Baby, I was trying to talk to you and tell you, like, what happened, basically.
Well, you can't know. Everybody thinks that by the time, because nobody really saw you punching, they just heard it. Everybody.
I know. Baby, for some reason when I did it, everybody was looking the other way.
Now, if you want to deep dive into why Mila is even giving this guy the time of day, when I came to film, I scanned some videos just before sitting down here. I was just curious about some stuff while I'm like doing my makeup and stuff. And I found Annie Elisa's video. She's a true crime YouTuber on the platform. We like to, lift up some other fellow female creators when we can. So check her out if you haven't. She's got a piece on this where she talks about things that we talk about quite often in a lot of the stories we cover: manipulation and coercive control. Those come a lot at play into a lot of the stories we cover, especially on my main channel, sometimes here. But those abuse tactics are definitely, I think, at play here just overall in this relationship. But, also maybe Mila is, savvy enough. She's shown to be very, very smart to keep her in Wade's good graces, to keep his trust, and to use that to her advantage and to maybe even the court's advantage, whether that be through giving interviews or getting confessions, which are very important if you can get those without coercing it out of them, which we have seen her do. She's an incredibly brave woman. I don't know how she managed, honestly, after what she has survived, but thankfully, he is locked away and can't actually get to her.
I don't know what, and I was about to go off on that call with Mila, so, I would rather talk to you privately first, I'm trying to understand something.
Yeah.
Where are you and her at right now? Okay?
Oh, she said we're still...
Where are y'all at?
She said she's not going to leave me.
Okay, well, let me tell you the truth. Do you know anything about media or anything with her?
No, what happened?
So, yesterday when you called, she set your ass up. She had a news reporter there and had you on speakerphone, dude. And the news reporter heard you telling her you're the best. They've got it all over the TV, okay? I'm getting ready to play it for you. My wife's sitting here, and she's got the story where Mila calls you a monster, where she says you're a psychopath and she's your ex and you were going to kill her, and they recorded your conversation with her where you're saying, don't leave me, you're the best thing ever, that, right?
I know, Mila. I lost it. I was on drugs and I lost it and I did stupid things, and you can still love me, baby. Yes, you can, if you want to. Don't tell me, unless you just want to stop loving me because of what I did.
You're a psychopath.
But then you never loved me to begin with, if you stop loving me.
I didn't know you were a killer. I didn't know you could kill somebody.
You knew I was a killer. Stop it.
So she's playing you right now because she's got the goddamn media there. Now I'm gonna play it for you. I want you to listen to this. This is your girl on TV.
But back to this troll now claiming that he's innocent, I guess.
Everyone, this is Wade. For too long, I have remained silent, hoping that the justice system will uncover the truth on its own. However, it is clear that I must now take matters into my own hands. From the very beginning, I have maintained my innocence. I cooperated fully with the investigation, but the system failed me, and my voice was drowned out by the overwhelming pressure to find a scapegoat. I became that scapegoat, the convenient target to satisfy the demand for justice. I share this story with you now because I believe in the power of truth and the strength of your support. Together, we can shine a light on the corruption and flaws within the system that led to this miscarriage of justice.
Tell me, what other holes are in this unhinged story? Because I honestly just throw him in the trash. And put the lid on it, put a little lock on it, and then there he will have to live, and I don't know, they could do like a feeding tube or something. So Wade Wilson's execution isn't yet scheduled since he's requesting a new trial with a new defense team. So let's listen to one last thing he has to say about it.
You can't do this shit, man. Listen, you're going to be electrocuted or some shit.
Oh, I think they're going to give me the needle.
You think so?
Yeah, I want them to.
You want to die that way? Lethal injection?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Baby, why would I want to live the rest of my life in prison, especially if I'm not going to have you?
We just talked about this right before you went back.
Why would I want to live the rest of my life in prison if I don't have you?
Honestly, I mean, again, you know how I feel, but if I were pro-death penalty, that would make me want to get him off death row just so he doesn't get his wish. Now, I will say, I scanned a few more of the headlines. I didn't get in depth to read it, so you guys should check it out, or if you want me to do a follow-up, but like, I mean, this guy, the sentencing is there. I don't think anything's going to change that. He's suing. He's suing over the verdict, so good luck with that, you little turd. And also, I believe he just discovered that recordings of him are on YouTube. So, hi, hello, yeah. Your recordings are all over YouTube, and you're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. I think he's pissed about that. And I have a feeling that the families of the innocent women whose lives you took are far more pissed. So enjoy listening to all the hundreds, maybe thousands of videos that are playing those recordings of you and your confessions and all of that. And I'm not even going to bother going into some of the other nonsense that he is prattled on about because he's exactly where he belongs. This specimen put people who love him in horrible situations and expects them to still love him. Mila deserves better. Steve deserves better. And Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz deserve to still be here living their lives with their loved ones. There's no excuse, and no amount of literally anything can bring them back into the arms of their families. So all I can hope is that with this current sentencing, that their friends and families have a shred of peace, and that their memories of Christine and Diane will always be a blessing. Okay, Suspirians, time to step out of the dark waters of the Suspool. Grab a towel and dry off. That's what I got. If you want to hear more stories like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel and tickle the like button for more. And let me know in the comments if you have any stories that you would like to dip into specifically. Also, follow me on Instagram and Twitter linked below. That's where I post most often, and it also announces opportunities to have your thoughts featured in my main deep dives on my main channel, Swoop. I also have a brand new full deep dive Swoop documentary out on my main channel. It's linked below and pinned in the comment. I highly recommend that you watch it after this. Lots going on over there. Also, be sure to grab your very own pieces from the Valid Ribcage and Valid Social Club collection in the Petty University shop, linked below as always. I know you're going to love these pieces, and stay tuned for the first official Suspool apparel coming, I think maybe in the next video. I think we'll have it in the next video. It should be in the next one, and I'll definitely announce it on Instagram and all that good stuff as well. I really hope you're gonna love this collection. I've spent a long time like meticulously designing the art, and I'm so excited about it. And I just, yeah, it's always fun to have something fun and fresh and new and sus, and it's gonna be great. Huge thank you to our channel members. I love seeing your badges and emojis in the comments, and a massive thank you to our Patreon members and channel producers. Your generosity is so deeply appreciated. Be sure to join me in a new adventure and learn a new language with Babbel and start having real conversations in just 3 weeks. Tap my link below and get 60% off on your subscription and treat yourself to new experiences and new memories. You deserve it, honey. Thanks for coming for a swim. Have a good day out there. Keep it creepy, keep it cute, and I'll see you next time for a swim in the Suspool. Swoop!